whatever about I'm not going to use my camera stand, the droopy cam thing, because it's driving me up the wall. I'm waiting for a new camera stand to arrive, so I'm going to stick my phone on the table. Oh shit, I just touched the screen. What happened? Did I mute myself? No. I hate it when I do that. It's really annoying. So I'm going to pop my camera up on the table on something. Hopefully. I'll just stick everything on the bloody floor. That's what I'll do. Because then I won't accidentally. Just a minute. I'm trying to rest this against this bottle, my acetone bottle. It's a funny shape. I probably need something else. Let's see, what can I use? I'll use this thing. That'll work. If I don't block the camera lens. Is that going to work? Probably. Yeah, sort of. So it's quite a fiddly job actually getting the segments out, because basically what I've got to do is I've got to squirt this alcohol through these holes and around the edges, and then use a hook, a big hook and a little hook, to pull them out, because I didn't put any holes in the back on this one, but that's fine. It's a bit of a fiddle, and the reason I've got to take them out is because when I made these new segments, I didn't put enough of a chamfer on these corners, because they don't seat all the way down. It's the corner. You see, when I acetone on the drum, there's a little bit of plastic sort of sits in the right in the edge, right in the corner of the hole where they sit, and it makes them stand a little bit higher than what they should. So what I've got to do is chamfer them a little bit, and which is a pain, but it's not too bad. Which is the bottom? That's the bottom. So I've got to get my knife. I'm going to chamfer the. Just break the edge basically, which is a bit of a drag, but I'll probably have to weigh them again. I don't know. They're all going to be the same, so this plastic doesn't weigh much anyway. I'm talking about 0.1 of a gram or something silly like that, but it makes a lot of difference with the balance. I've already determined which side is the heaviest side. Putting them in is not difficult at all, it's getting them out. And the other problem as well is sometimes it's because some of them got double-sided tape on them. I haven't put double-sided tape on these because I decided it wasn't worth it, because there was sticky stuff inside the rotor anyway. It was so sticky, so it tends to stick to that. The alcohol makes them slippery so that I can get them out. But once that evaporates, they stick again, and so right, so that should seat properly in there. There's a bit of sticky stuff on that, feel it. Doesn't require a lot of sticky stuff to hold them in place, because remember the centrifugal force is pushing them outwards, like in that direction. So they tend to, once they're in there, they just won't come out. So I've got to check this one now, make sure it's going to go in right. I'm actually going to squirt a little bit of alcohol in there just to make it go in a bit easier as well. But yeah, because they are tight, they are quite tight. Is it seating properly? We've got a little bit of a lip there. It's a little bit high on that side. I'm not quite happy about that. One solution I found out, let me just pull this out again. So I use a big hook because it gives me a leverage. When you put it at the bottom and you do that, it levers it up. That's the easiest way of getting these out. So I'll go in the bottom, get underneath it, and you can see it coming out. Once it gets so far, I can just pull it like this. Put my thumb against the rotor and pull. That's how tight they are. So another method, if it's not seating properly, the best way I found to solve that problem is to, it's usually because there might be a raised edge somewhere in the bottom there and you can't always see where it is. So what I usually do is get some plastic. Let's see, get a plastic bag. Otherwise my segment would be bonded permanently to it. So what I do is I squirt a bit of acetone in the bottom of here, like this, not much, and run it around. Then I get this plastic bag and I stick this plastic bag over the hole so that I don't get it on my segment, and then I stick this in and it squeezes out whatever's sticking up. So whatever bit of plastic at the bottom there is sticking up, it will get that. So that bag is separating the acetone plastic from the drum from the segment. So I'm going to leave that and we're going to keep pressing until it seats properly. Just keep pressing it until it seats, because that acetone is going to remove the step or whatever is blocking it, because it's hard, you can't really see what's down there. It's usually just a tiny amount of plastic in the corner that's doing that. And I'm going to press in till, remember the plastic, so it's only about 0.02 or something over a micron. This plastic is very thin. I think that's going to be good enough, so I'm going to pull this out again without breaking my plastic. I thought I'd show you this little trick because it's handy to know. Well, it's coming out a lot easier because of the plastic, the bag. Right, it's taken everything. I've made a hole in that bag now, so I can't really use that bag again. I'll take this bag out. It's actually removed a bit of plastic with it, look. It's actually taken a bit of plastic out, which is probably a good thing because it was tight. And now I want to get my spray bottle, because I just want to any edges that have been lifted up, I just want them to lay down. I'm using the needle. There's actually a bit too much acetone in there, so I'm going to let it drip out. I don't want it on my other segments. Whatever I do, I'll never get them out. There was too much plastic in the bottom there. Right, I'll let that dry a minute. There wasn't a lot down there. I want it to be dry to the touch. It's drying pretty quick actually. Yeah, and I don't want this thing to, when I put this back in, I don't want that to stick to that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of gear grease just on the bottom section around there. A little bit of this plastic gear grease. It dries out eventually. It doesn't last long, this stuff. It's just put a bit of gear grease around this bottom so that it doesn't bond onto that plastic, and I'll never get the damn segment out if that happens. What happened earlier, I was trying to get this one of the segments out, it was so frigging tight. I haven't let this dry out probably enough for a few days, but it was so tight that I actually started to peel the rotor started to split down here. It started to split, but I'll stick it back together with acetone and it's good now. Well, that was lucky. I was prying it, you see, and I was pushing against this back cover, this back here, and it actually peeled it off. Now I'm glad, well, in a way it's a good thing because it showed a weak point and I was able to strengthen it. So right, so I'm just going to leave that a minute. Just leave that a minute to dry out. Blowing it. It feels dry now actually. So I think I can put this in now. We should be good. It's a tight fit, so it's not going to come out. Right, that's gone in. Actually, a lot better than it did before. It was sticking up quite a bit before. I always check the balance on these things. You see, if these things start to work, it's still a little bit protruded, but then the other one is next to it, so it's about the same. So that's okay. It's just if it's sticking out too much, if the segments stick out too much, what happens is they catch on the canopy where the coil's wound, and it starts to catch, and that's why they've got to be relatively flush. Right, so what I do to balance it is I've got this spare bearing. I've got this extra bearing, which I don't want to I don't want to use the rotor hub because it's got magnets in it, and the magnets will make it impossible for me to check the balance. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just put this bearing on here temporarily because there's the bearing on the back thing, and then I'm going to rest it on my knee like that, and I'm going to just hold this bearing so there's no slop, and then I'm just going to watch it to see if where it settles. And that looks pretty good to me. Spin it a little bit. Move it about like this so that it will find its level. And oops, so that is a heavy end, so that means I need a little bit more weight up here. So this segment here, I'm going to add some weight to it. So I'm going to get a bit of blue tack, a little bit of blue tack, and I'm going to stick a bit of blue tack. I'm going to roll it. I'm just going to stick it on there like that a minute, just to find out. It's sticking out, it's fine. It's just going to help me to find the weight, the right weight. And I'm going to do that. I'll hold it by bearing it, by the way, at this end. So I'm just going to do that and see if it moves. Right, I'll move this around that way. Stop it and see if it actually... Yeah, it wants to go down, so this end still wants a bit more weight on it. So get a bit more blue tack. I just want to find out how much weight I need adding to that end. So it's a little method you can use. You could have bearings that move really easy though, otherwise it won't work. The reason I'm agitating it is to stop any friction on the bearing from holding it in position. So just by wobbling it, it looks better. So I'm going to go there, let go. It's not wanting to turn, put it there, wobble it. Right, so that end's a bit heavy. Oops, that end's a little bit heavier now, so take a bit of blue tack off it, tiny little bit. I've forgotten where I took it off now. Oh, it was this end, wasn't it? Stick that on. Move it there. no, put it there. There. It did move a bit. So, if I put it there. So this end is slightly heavier than that end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this blue tack off. I'm going to move a bit of blue tack. We'll put this one back in that hole and this one in this hole. And we'll do it again. Oops, my bearing came off. Right, put it there. Now I've got too much on that hole. Take a bit off it and put it back on that one. Move it to that position. I have to be careful I don't warp the bearing. When I say warp the bearing, I mean it's like when you're creating a rotational effect on the bearing that makes it want to turn when you don't want it to. So I'm trying to be careful. I think I've got that really, really close now. I don't think it's gonna. Put it down like that. Put it down like that. I think I've got it right. I think that's close enough. So I'm going to get this bit of blue tack and I'm going to roll it and stick it down the bottom of that hole. Well, not right in the bottom. I'm going to get this pricker thing and I want to stick it actually on the outside wall, and I'm going to recheck it because it's going to fly outwards, so it wants to be somewhere where it's not going to fly off. If I put it on the inside wall, I'm going to check the balance again then. And that one. Because the outside is going to have more centrifugal force anyway, so I have to double check this. I'm going to have to readjust it slightly, you never know. So we're talking about 0.3 of a gram or something silly like that. Right, let's check it. Now you can't see where the blue tack is because it's inside the hole, but let's move it to that position. That position. It's going to walk a little bit. Right, now that position. You know, I don't think I can get it any better than that. I think that's good enough. So I've got my new segments in. And we should have a really good balance on it now. That bearing back in that thing. I just hope my blue tack that's in the holes doesn't fly out or anything, but it shouldn't because it's stuck in there and the centrifugal force will make it stay in there. So I've got my lamination, my shim segments, and I've got the ferrite segments. So we're able to compare them. Well, it's going to be all in one cycle. Well, it's going to be all in one cycle anyway, but we should see a difference. Either going to have less drag, more output, and I don't think we're going to see more drag. We're probably going to see less drag, more output, hopefully. So I'm going to put this all back together again now. Right, that's on. It definitely feels like there's less clogging now. Definitely. You can tell by how long it takes to stop. Yeah, that's definitely better. It feels a lot easier to turn. Let's see what the ferrite segments are like when I stick my little homemade flux gauge on it. Which is pushing? I'm not sure which is pushing. Oh, that one must be pushing. That's pulling. Yeah. I have made some new segments in SketchUp actually, where, you know, when I had the magnets in place of some of these shims, I had a magnet there and a magnet there, which I swapped out and put these back. What I want to do at some point is I want to put some more magnets back in these segments with the ferrite adjacent to them and alternate them. That should boost my output considerably, and in conjunction with the stator magnets. What the hell's wrong with my flipping coast call alarm? It keeps going off by itself. I don't know what's going on with it. I've got a malfunction. I cancel that service and it's beeping again. Flipping heck, I don't believe it. There's a malfunction. I'm going to get buzzed by a warden in a minute, so I don't know what's going on with it. There must be gremlins in the system, I think. I don't know what's going on. Right, so where's my it's destroyed my focus. No, I can't think my train of thought. So I want to make sure there's nothing catching on the coil thingy. So I need an elastic band. Oops, I'm knocking everything over here. What fell down? Oh, it's my bearing. It's stuck to the magnets. Put the elastic band on. Oh yeah, one way of the coil, so I've got two coils on there. I have to hook it underneath there. If I can get it under there. Alright. Come on. Get underneath. Right. Make sure it's not rubbing. No, no rubbing. Right. Let's put the other one on. Oh. Ah. Rubber band a bit down a bit. That was catching now. Oops. Probably need another elastic band at the bottom end. Yeah, I need an elastic band down there. There we go. Okay, so that's great. It's not rubbing. When the elastic bands are on, it doesn't rub. I probably need one up here as well. Yeah. So now all I've got to do is put it on its stand. Oh, it was catching again then, but as long as it doesn't catch, I can move them around a bit so I can adjust them slightly. There's definitely less cogging, definitely. That feels a lot better. Alright, so get my stand without dropping the damn thing. I'm probably going to have to move the phone camera because the phone is, the wire's not long enough now. I'll disconnect the clip on it, so I can't get this thing on. Put the, let's check it a minute. We've got a little bit of rubbing. It's alright now. Just getting these in the right position. There, that's good. Right, I'll put my belt on. Oops, stop. I'll stop the damn thing, otherwise I'll never get the belt on. I'm going to pick my phone up in a minute when I've got this on. Flipping thing. There's something malfunctioning. I keep hearing clicking sounds. I'm going to have to ring them up and tell them that they've got a problem with the system. Now what have I done? It's because I haven't got this thing level properly. It might be better if I turn it upside down like this. Oh, actually this way around. The good thing about this thing, you can turn it many different directions. Right. Right, try it that way again. Right. I'll get this belt on eventually. It's better when it's on the table, it's because I'm trying to do it on this. Right, there we go, I've got it on now. Okay, so I have to pick my phone up without this thing falling over. Oh, just press the button. What did I just do? Oh, it's still going. Right, I'm going to pick this thing up slowly. It's quite heavy. Right. So it's probably 500 grams with everything on it, with the coils and all that. I don't know, I've not weighed it. Right, so I haven't got it connected up yet, so it's not all disconnected, the coils, so I'm going to have to do a separate test later on. I just want to get the supercapacitors charging up. And I'm just going to check it to make sure it runs a bit faster. I can do a manual RPM. Oh, I've got a model of thing in SketchUp for the RPM meter as well. I need to start this a little bit first. Oops, dropped the damn power lead. I'll get one clip on, then I can rotate it. Right, so if I just spin it, well, actually I'll try and do it both at the same time. If I can keep the clip on. Try to do this with one hand, it's tricky. Right, oh, it's powered up now, it's running. Is my belt running true? Yeah. Right, I've got no coils connected right now. All this is a balance test to see if it's in balance, and it should be really well balanced now after doing all that blue tack stuff. It feels good. I can't feel any vibration at all right now. Actually, I can just feel the motor hum. I can feel that. It's like hum from something. Oh, it's probably the segments. It's the drag I can feel. It's the pulsating of the coil. So it can take a while to charge them supercapacitors up because they were completely flat. They were down to like something like 2 volts or something. So when I started, so it's going to take a while to pick up. So anyway, there's not much point in filming any more of this. I've been on live for 32 minutes because all this is a balance, just to make sure it's not going to start shaking off the table. That's all this is about, really. And it looks pretty good. I've got a bit of wobble there. That's just, it's going through a cycle. What do you call it? A harmonic cycle. Oh, my segments are my metal nanocrystalline materials falling off. Well, maybe I can get the meter hooked up to... if I can see the wires. I can't see these damn wires, are so friggin' thin. 36 SWG wire is horrible. You can't see it. Well, with my eyesight it's been bad. I'm trying to see where the wire is. Oh, I see. I think I can see it's bent over. If I can shine the torch and get my hook. Where's my hook? I think it's there. Right, there's that wire. Where's the other? These two coils are in series. If I can find the other end of the wire, which is down here somewhere. As I say, it was really a balance check, but I could do a test to see if the output's any higher, I suppose. Before, I was almost getting 800 millivolts with these two. These two coils were about 800 millivolts, which is getting close to a volt. I'm going to break that wire off if I'm not careful. 36 SWG wire with all those great big clips hanging on it is not good. I'm literally a coordinate, a torch, a phone, and these clips with two hands, and it's not easy to do, trying to manually move my phone, which I'm holding a torch with, between my little finger and my middle finger. I'm moving the torch around, little finger, and yeah, that's why it's blocking the view, because it's heavy and I can't keep it high enough. I can't get it up. Right, I'm going to switch my meter on, see what current we've got. Oh, that's better. We haven't picked up full speed yet. We are getting almost 14 milliamps. 14 milliamps. Now, when I did this test earlier, I was looking to get 12. That was at full speed. So the ferrite, let me get rid of this torch now. The ferrite is a winner. So yeah, I'm going to be making some more ferrite slugs. Look at that. 14 milliamps. Earlier, when I did a test today with the same coils, I was barely getting 11.7 milliamps. Right, I barely got 11.7. Now, if I put ferrite in all of these segments, we should double that. Probably get, and that's without even putting magnets in the segments as well. Let's see what voltage we get. I remember I said earlier I was getting about 800 millivolts. Oh look, 15 milliamps. Right. Earlier on I was about 800 millivolt. Right, what are we getting now? Holy crap! We're getting a volt. My God! Hey! Hey, cheers! Blues releasing! We're getting a volt. Over a volt. Holy moly! Yeah, that's how much better it is. That shows you how much less drag Ferrite has. Yay! We're a cheer and dance around the room. So, look at the difference. A whole bloody volt. And earlier I was looking to get 800 millivolts, which were 800 millivolts. Well, there's 1,000 millivolts in a volt, right? There's 1,000 millivolts in a volt. So when you're getting 800 millivolts, that's just under a volt. And now we're getting a whole volt. So yeah, it's a winner. So does it change? It's still picking up speed, by the way. Alright, let's go to current. We're still picking speed up. Let's go to current. What current? Oh, what the hell's going on with the meter? It's a new battery. I put another battery in it. Actually, I took the battery out the other meter and put it in this one. Alright, we're at 16.4 milliamps. Still climbing. Still climbing. I'm more interested in volts right now, so I'm going back to volts. Remember the reason why it's taking so long to speed up is I'm charging up supercapacitors and driving this little tiny motor, which hardly has any torque, and also the power supply is current limited, so most of the current is going into the supercapacitors. So we're about 300 milliamps, and let's see what voltage we're at still. We're only at 5, 6, 7.5 volts. So we're only at 7.5 volts, so we haven't even got anywhere near 9 volts or 10 or 11 volts. We're 5, 6, 7.5 volts. Current is going to be high until the supercapacitor is charged, and we're still picking up volts. Look at that, we're at 1.2 volts now. That's the same as a nickel metal hydride or nickel. So we have a usable voltage now. We have a usable voltage, and that could power a clock. Yeah, we could power a clock. I'm kind of being sarcastic right now. You probably gathered that, but but it's still picking speed up. I want to see what the RPM is, because remember when we did this test earlier, the amount of drag on it was so bad. I think it was down to the RPM meter was down. Where's my thingamajig? I can't find the end of it. My RPM was down to about 900 RPM, wasn't it? Let's see what it is right now. So I'm going to hold the... It's still picking speed up. Hold this next to the RPM meter like that. Oh, look at that! Speed is really going good. 1,413 RPM. So yeah, that proves that ferrite is better than steel, because... Oh shit, I crashed into it then. We're at 1,445 RPM, we're still climbing. So yeah, ferrite is a winner, definitely. I knew that, obviously, but I'm just demonstrating it. And we're still going up, look. So when I get all the segments with... when I replace all the segments with ferrite, I'm expecting that we're going to get more than 6 volts when I get all the coils round, but I've run out of copper now. Well, I've got no copper left. No 36 SWG. And I'm not going to use that 42, it's pathetic, it'll be too thin, and it's not enough current. So what I've got to do... Oh, by the way, vibration. What vibration? I can't feel a damn thing. I'm going to put the phone, rest the edge of the phone on the table. You feel vibration. Right? Are you watching? The phone is resting on the table. I did it at an angle so I don't press the buttons in. Can you feel any vibration? I can't. To prove it, there's the camera lens, there's the lens, right? Are you watching? Right? We're on the table. What vibration? There is none. Yeah, look at that. We're still climbing. .2. Oh, we're getting fluctuations right now, but it'll climb even more when I put the ferrites in the other segments. What current are we at now? Current. Uh, 18.3 milliamps with that thin 36 SWG wire, which is all you can expect with that thin wire. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, we're getting there. So, hope you enjoyed it. Give me a... I don't normally ask for it, but give me a thumbs up. Come on, I earned it. Come on. I earned it. Come on, please give me a thumbs. Well, if you're lazy, you can do the opposite, but yeah. Alright, bye for now.